Flight 班机班次 Flight 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 我们来看句型 I'd like to book this flight 我想要预订这个班机跟着我念一次 I'd like to book this flight I'd like to book this flight book 预订 book I'd like to book this flight 跟着我念一次 I'd like to book this flight I'd like to book this flight I would like to 等于缩写的 I'd like to 做什么事我想要做什么事后面我们就会加动词 I would like to I'd like to I'd like to book this flight 跟着我念一次 I'd like to book this flight I'd like to book this flight One way 就是单程的意思我 on one 我 a way One way 单程 I'd like to book an one-way flight 跟着我念一次 I'd like to book an one-way flight I'd like to book an one-way flight 再来是来回的意思 round trip round trip round trip I'd like to book a round trip flight 跟着我念一次 I'd like to book a round trip flight 我们要知道要坐头等舱商务舱还是经济舱头等舱叫做 first class first class first class I'd like to know the first class airfare 跟着我念一次 I'd like to know the first class airfare economy class 指的是经济舱 economy class economy class I'd like to know the economic class airfare 让我们再念一次 I'd like to know the economy class airfare 接下来是商务舱 business class business class I'd like to know the business class airfare I'd like to know the business class airfare 订机票会需要选你想坐什么样的位置 Window seat 指的就是靠窗的位置 Seat 指的就是位置座位我 in win the o do window seat window seat I'd like to book a window seat 跟着我念一次 I'd like to book a window seat 有靠窗的位置就会有走道的位置靠窗叫 window 走道叫 aisle I'd like to book an aisle seat 跟着我念一次 I'd like to book an aisle seat Middle seat 中间的位置 Middle seat middle seat I'd like to book a middle seat 跟着我念一次 I'd like to book a middle seat Non-stop flight 直达 Non-stop Non-stop flight Non-stop flight 想要订一班直达的飞机就说 I'd like to book a non-stop flight 跟着我念一次 I'd like to book a non-stop flight 有直达就会有转机的班机转机的班机叫做 stopover flight stopover flight stopover flight I'd like to book a stopover flight 我想要订一张转机的班机跟着我念一次 I'd like to book a stopover flight Baggage 行李 Baggage 行李我们行李有分托运的行李跟手提的行李托运的行李会叫 checked baggage 手提的行李叫做 hand baggage baggage I'd like to check in my baggage 跟着我念一次 I'd like to check in my baggage check in 指的是托运或是登记的意思 check in I'd like to check in my baggage check in 跟着我念一次 I'd like to check in my baggage overweight charge over 是超过 weight 是重量 charge 是费用拼凑起来就叫 overweight charge over weight charge overweight charge Sir, you should pay for the overweight charge. 跟着我念一次 Sir, you should pay for the overweight charge. Sir, you should pay for the overweight charge.